Hello, thank you for stopping on my video. My name is Becky and this is BecxReadz. I post videos every 5 days and if I can manage, I will squeeze some in between. And today I have another collab for you. I swear I do videos on my own, it's just collabs are more fun. Today's video is a recommendation of books that made me happy. And this is in collaboration with 7 of my other favorite booktubers. I will have all their channels tagged down below and there will also be a playlist where you can find all of our recommendations for books that made us happy. We have April, Daphne, Jackie, Kaylani, Michelle, Millie, and Neva. Last month I did a collaboration for books that made us cry, which I will also have that playlist linked down below if you want to go see everybody's recommendations for books that made them cry. So for May, I thought, why not do some recommendations for books that made us laugh? It is much easier to make me cry when reading than to make me laugh for some reason. I don't know why, but I think I have 6 or 7 recommendations to share with you. So let's jump into it. First up, I have a smutty holiday erotica for you, and that is Jack by Layla Faye. So this is the story of a witch who is lonely on Halloween, so she casts a spell to get laid. And when she does this, Jack appears. He is literally a man with a jack-o'-lantern head. This guy is big, he's orange, he's warm, he's flavored, he's got 4 balls, and he vibrates. It's just a fun holiday time, let me tell you. So this one had me chuckling pretty much the entire way through it just because it's so fucking ridiculous. But if you're looking for something that'll just make you smile in a short amount of time. The next book that made me laugh is A Nameless Witch by A. Martinez. So if you are in your cozy fantasy era, this is a must to add to it. So this is the story of a witch. She has no name, obviously. And her mentor gets murdered one day. So she sets out on this quest for revenge to kill the person who killed her mentor. And she does this with the help of her demon duck, her sentient broom, her troll friend, and her white knight that she picks up along the way. This book had me laughing multiple times within the story because, again, it's just so fun and ridiculous. A demon duck, come on now. It also made me laugh because she is a bit of a cannibal, and when she meets her white knight, she isn't sure if she wants to kiss him or eat him because he's delicious in both senses of the word. There's also a scene in here with the broom and the road that had me laughing so hard. It was so freaking funny. This is also a great audiobook to listen to because I feel like each of the characters has their own voice. And it was just a hoot and a half. I highly recommend checking this out. It's one of my favorite witchy reads, and it's just one of my favorite cozy fantasy reads. The next book that made me laugh is a pretty popular one, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea. So this is a very heartwarming, another cozy fantasy. Maybe cozy fantasies just make me laugh. I don't know. This is the story of Linus Baker, who is a very straight-laced, rule-following man, and he gets sent to this house in the Cerulean Sea. It is an orphanage for children with magical abilities, and these children are thought to be the most dangerous magical children there are. So he gets sent there to see if this house should stay in business, and he's supposed to report back and let him know his findings. But when he gets there, he discovers that these magical children, they're just kids. They're just kids who want to live their best lives, and the man who is raising them, their foster dad pretty much, he's a great guy too, and Linus ends up sort of having a crush on him and ends up falling in love with him and these children, and it becomes like the family he never knew he needed. The children in this book had me laughing. Like, I'm not somebody who particularly loves kids. Like, I don't hate them by any means, but like, I could do without them. This book made me want to adopt these children. In particular, Lucy, who is literally Lucifer. He's so freaking funny. He has such a morbid and dry sense of humor that I related to that kid so hard, and anytime he was on the page, I was just laughing. Also, little Talia, she's got a little bit of a morbid sense of humor too, and I just loved her characters. I just loved the dry, morbid humor in this story with the children, and it just brought a smile to my face, and I was chuckling multiple times. And so I highly recommend this. If you haven't already read this, like, where are you? What have you been doing? You should give it a go. The next book that made me laugh is one that I've recommended recently in a single mom romance recommendations video, so I will link that down below if you want to check that out. but that is Tempt the Boss by Natasha Madison. So this is the story of Lauren and Austin. Lauren is a single mom. She needs to find a job, and Austin ends up being her boss, and they hate each other for no particular reason other than that they can't stand one another on site because they're insanely attracted to one another, but neither of them really makes the best first impression. So when Austin hires her to be his personal assistant, they set out to make each other's lives miserable. And the thing that made me laugh in here were the pranks that they pull on one another. Some of them were so fucking hilarious that I laughed like well beyond the pages of that scene. Like I would be reading a different scene and I would just remember it and I would start laughing again. I read this book, I believe, like 3 times now, and every single time it still made me laugh. Even knowing what the outcomes of these pranks are, it still gets a smile from me. Next up is a book 2 in a duology, so I don't recommend starting with this one, but this one had me laughing. And it is called Explicitly Yours by Mika Jolie. So this is about Dean and Coriander. They are best friends. They fell in love, they started a relationship, and in book 2, we are seeing their relationship progress. And the thing that made me laugh about this book is Dean's inner monologue. The man has no filter. And one scene in particular is Coriander goes to the gynecologist and Dean goes with her. And the things that he's thinking, he doesn't mean to say them out loud, but he does. So here she is with a gynecologist's hand up her, and he is just, the words are just flow, and he doesn't stop talking. And it made me laugh so hard. Because I would have laughed if that were me on the gynecologist table and my significant other was, I would fucking like die of laughter and embarrassment. This is one of my favorite romances of all time. And the second book just. The next book that made me laugh is I Married a Naga by Regine Abel. This is the second book in this series. They can be read as standalones, but I feel like you should read them in their order. I actually did a series overview of this where I recommend like which order you should read them in. I will link that down below if you're at all curious. But in this, we are following Zaro and Serena. And Serena has been on his planet and she did something she wasn't supposed to do, so she is forced into an arranged marriage with Zaro, who is the Snake Man. This book brought out a lot of emotions from me, not just laughter. I think I did a 6-star review of this too. It's linked down below. Go check it out. There is a particular scene in this book that made me laugh, and that is when Zaro is showing Serena around his world and they come across these blue fruits. Because Zaro isn't like too familiar with like humans, so how Serena perceives these blue fruits, he doesn't quite understand why she finds them so funny. But it was just a funny scene, and I loved his reaction to it, and it made me smile and laugh. And the last book I have to share with you that made me laugh is Happy Trail by Jordan Marie. So this is book 3 in this series, so I don't recommend starting here. You could if you wanted to. So this is the romance between Petal and Luca. They have been divorced for quite a few years because of something that happened, but they're still insanely attracted to one another, and they feel like they've always been meant for one another. So they're trying to give it one last go at being in a relationship. And the thing that made me laugh in here is a smut scene. It takes place along the roadside, not in a car, but by a car. And certain things happen that just had me laughing. So those are the few books that have made me laugh throughout the years. I wish more books had the power to make me laugh. I really do. Because they do tend to stick with me. Let me know down in the comments what was the last book you read that made you laugh. And if you have made it this far in the video, could you leave me the crying, laughing face emoji? And be sure to go and subscribe to everybody who collabed on this idea down below and check out that playlist with all of our recommendations in one place. And thank you to everybody who always wants to participate with me in these collabs. I know I probably get really annoying like asking y'all all the time, do you want to collab on this? Do you want to collab on that? So thank you so much for indulging me. And until my next video, have a wonderful day and go have a good laugh for me. Bye. It's so stupid trying to get a thumbnail for this.